Last election, Mr. Friel promised there would be change that would come to our city. So far, there are no appreciable change that I can see. And this isn't necessarily his fault. No one stands up here and puts him or herself before their friends and neighbors with the intention of doing anything less than their very best. But even at my age, I can see we're not doing our best. In a great nation built on the ideology, all people have the right to live their dream. This dream is being crushed when many people in Brantford can barely make their bills on time. That's if they can afford to pay them at all. This breeds a vicious cycle, and this has to end. I attend school at Brantford Collegiate Institute. This is where I met so many people, some of my closest friends, and so many great teachers who I look up to. These educators have influenced me to run for council, not because I come equipped with a magic solve for every issue that adversely affects us. It's because they know I am from a generation that has fought to be self-involved, uncaring, and disengaged. These great teachers know that this is a misrepresentation. They see how we care. They see how we are more than willing to do our part to make our hometown the best it can be. They know that, like so many other stereotypes that we have all come to accept, that the story of the people of my generation are lazy and too self-involved to get involved is a false one. Speaking for myself, I can promise I care. I care deeply, and I have many ideas that are reasonable and achievable without overturning the entire apple cart. Yes, change is necessary, but change won't mean tossing out the baby with the bathwater. It means that we need to improve what needs improving and exercise our democratic rights as citizens. The great city of Brantford to initiate and follow through on wherever we see we need improvement. I say we because none of what I speak today is achievable without all of us together. You can't just vote your favorite, then walk away, leaving the story in the hands of an elected official. Those who seek to hold office are nothing more than the ones who are charged with carrying the completion of your envision what this city should be. And whether it's national, provincial, or local election, what all comes down to, all politics is local. This is where you live, Brantford, Ontario, Canada. And if anyone has the right to insist the city be run in any way that makes sense at all, then all of us, it is you. But maybe in the hustle and bustle of just making the bills and squeezing through life, we've forgotten that's not the politicians who hold the power, it is you. Sure, I'm a young man who's at the starting gate of what I hope is a very long and successful life. But what is success when I witness many terrible things on a daily basis that do not by any stretch of the imagination qualify as Canadian in any way? Why is poverty abject and undeniable poverty at an all-time high? Friends of mine whose parents have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. People, good people, who are your friends, your neighbor, and perhaps your own family, who are living in this kind of poverty until recently we only read in history books. This is not right. This is immoral. If someone is working more than 40 hours a week, they should not be living in horrid conditions in the older historic part of town, which in most cities would be the wealth centers of the area. The neighborhoods there have disintegrated into our city's shame. My own friends live in that, and it hurts to see them, their families having to barely scrape by like this. So what is the answer? What do I propose that's any different than any other candidate believes? You know, hopefully, we're not that different. My hope is that all see the facts are there, and the fact is what we are doing now is not working. I would happily withdraw my candidacy if I felt that my esteemed friends are also running for this office believed as I do, that the people deserve to have the necessities of life, that sometimes we are responsible for our friends, our neighbors, to ensure that their children enjoy the same rights and privileges that life in a country such as ours can give. Now, this isn't a call for life of the lazy. I do not advocate for a world which the haves must pay for the have-nots because they have. But the inequality that is shown when necessary programs are scraped and scrapped in exchange for tax and other benefits that go to our wealthiest citizens and corporations, or when the less fortunate among us are painted with an unfair broad brush that would have us believe that they are somehow less than us and they had dug their own economic hole. Well, that's when I stand up and I say it is not true. It is not true. Many have said to me, and I've heard this in many other places in town, especially my school, that there are food banks. They gladly avoid the real problem in their belief that such charity should keep, quote, them afloat so they can survive another working day. But food banks are not a symbol of the welfare system. Food banks show that the welfare system has failed. But we pay thousands for a new city logo, costing the city good taxpayer dollars, resulting in nothing. Our transit system is something we should be proud of. Instead, it needs massive upgrading, massive upkeep, or just completely getting rid of the old buses and completely rebuying them, which costs millions a bus. Our roads need to be repaired, and running through all this is the constant fact that people are going to bed hungry. These dollars could have been used for much more efficiently, perhaps even for something on a grander scheme to help bring jobs to this city, especially in the core of downtown, which is slowly just starting to get back on its feet. A so-called millennial can recognize this and believe that you do too. But nothing will change if we don't agree to talk about it, recognize it, and fix it. What the city of Brantford needs is help. When the tide comes in, all boats will rise. It can't be any other way. But we need to be that tide. We need to agree. We've tried. Hasn't worked. And we can do it. And we can pay for it? How? Why don't we agree to make up all that revenue that our current city council has insisted our business community to pay for, such as the rich and all the major corporations? There are many ways to achieve our goal, the best goal of all, restoring the greatness of Brantford and doing it with a fiscally responsible way. Willis refusing to let a single one of us slip through the cracks. We can do it, Brantford, and the time for change is now.